Hey everyone, welcome to another session of Sippin' Ground Coffee. My name's Dan Painter. I will be hosting this broadcast today along with our guest Ben Painter, Director of Sales. But before we get into today's topic, I want to make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. When you hit that little bell, you'll get notifications so that every time we do a live broadcast like this, you'll know ahead of time and we can have some interaction, questions and answers, so on and so forth. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn. And if you haven't done this yet, go to the website, Flint and Walling website. That's flintandwalling.com. On that website, you can sign up for our newsletter. This is a periodical that we put out periodically. But it lets you know what we're doing up here at F&W. It's a way for us to communicate right directly to our customers. So make sure you sign up for that. We're going to have a code word today, and I haven't come up with that yet, Renee, but we're going to come up with a code word today. Make sure you write that down somewhere, because when you collect 3 of these code words and email them into Flint and Walling at marketing@flintandwalling.com, again, marketing@flintandwalling.com, email 3 of those code words in turn, you're going to get a really nice tour and training shirt that we've been giving out to those that come up for our factory tours. They're very nice, very popular, along with some other swag. So again, with Renee and Derek and Ben, we're going to hope to make this a productive broadcast. Today's topic, though, is a little different than what we've been doing in the past. Today's topic is basically going to focus on our factory tours, the factory tours that we conduct up here at Flint and Walling. During the fall and winter months, it's a very busy time. This time of year, we're scheduling typically a factory tour a week. And so we'd like to encourage that if you haven't had a chance to come up and do one of these, that you do. Very accommodating. We can for our more localized customers, sometimes it's simply a day trip for them. They come up in the morning, we'll give them our tour. We'll spend a little bit of time in the afternoon talking about products they want to talk about. And by 3:30, they're on their way back home. Groups that come in from out of state, whether we need to put you up for lodging either 1 or 2 nights, that's not been a problem, and we feed you well. But these tours are an investment that you make that I promise will pay dividends. It'll pay dividends for you, because one of the things that you're going to come out of this tour with is a whole lot more knowledge. It's going to make it so much more easier for you to discuss and even talk about Flint and Walling branded pumps after you have actually seen these things manufactured from scratch. So I don't know, Ben, I'm going to turn it over to you for a second just to see if you've got any added comments. I don't want to hog the mic here.
No, you're good. We are starting to fill up quite a few dates. I noticed before the broadcast here. I got on and double checked. We got some guys coming from got a group coming from Canada. We got some guys coming from Minnesota, working on some Southeast guys. So the dates are definitely filling up. I think just casual conversation between us here, we can customize the training to what customers want to learn about beyond just the tour.
That's
right?
True. Yeah, absolutely. It's like a menu going into a restaurant. You pick what you want to eat for an appetizer, or the main meal, the dessert. We do the same thing with the topics on training. I will say this.
No, you're good.
I will say this, and I'd like to speak particularly to you contractors that may be tuned in. The investment to make a trip to Flint and Walling, I assure you, you will have an experience unlike anything you would get at any other pump company in the United States. It's not possible for them to give you the experience that we're going to give you here at Flint and Walling. Now, I'm going to put a little meat behind that, what might be considered lip service, all right? Number one, Flint and Walling this year is celebrating their 160th anniversary. 160 years Flint and Walling's been in the manufacturing business. And one of the things that's going to make your experience unlike any place else, Flint and Walling's never left the original location. We are in the same location we were in when we started back in 1866. So the shell of this building is vintage, antique, historical. The inside is cutting edge, state of the art. Second reason why I think you're going to have an experience unlike any place else, you're going to see motors manufactured, both jet and centrifugals, and we've been manufacturing those since the 1950s. So you're going to see these motors manufactured from scratch. You're going to see submersible pump motors. We've been manufacturing those now. It's hard to believe, but I think we're 14 years in now, so on manufacturing submersible pump motors. And then the thing that I think ties this all together, it's all made here, right here. 95 North Oak Street, Kendallville, Indiana, USA. You'll see American flags flying back there, and everyone that's working back there in that factory understands those flags come with an expectation. So the experience that you're going to have is one that's, you're going to see manufacturing at its purest form. You go to some other pump companies and what you're going to see is pump assembly. They're going to take components pre-manufactured by somebody and they put them together. Not a real exciting experience. But when you see these components being manufactured from scratch and then being put together, that's an experience that I don't think you're going to get in too many pump manufacturers. So anyway,
Yeah, no, I think
kind of went on there. So
yeah, that was a nice little rant. And I think you're right. I mean, I think everything you talked about is what endears Flint and Walling to our customers. Really, is the fact that we are here, and you don't need a passport to come visit the factory and see the products being built. I think the other thing is that you kind of touched on this a little earlier, but the aspect of being able to promote it to your customers after the fact, in the sense that you've come to the factory, you've seen this, how it's built, you've seen the quality and the testing, and the relationship aspect. I think, can't be understated either. I mean, I like to think that we get a lot of people that come in here through the winter months for factory tours and training events that are customers that we know. Some we know really well, some we know by name only. But I like to think, most of the time when we get these groups out, they leave and the relationship between us is strengthened to the point that, we're almost like friends at that point. You travel around and see them after the fact, and we usually try to do some things that are outside of Kendallville, down around Fort Wayne, some things that are fun, some things that will make the trip even more memorable, I guess. But yeah, I don't know.
We have a video we could show as well if you guys want to.
yeah, we got a little short clip. Yeah, let's go ahead and show that little short clip.
So we've got a group in from Central Indiana, Indianapolis, distributor of ours, Central Supply. They've brought in a group of contractors. There's about 10 guys down there that work for various different well drilling and pump installation companies. They came in to do a factory tour this morning, and this afternoon they'll be in training. For those who have never been here before, they're in shock and awe when they get down there, quite honestly, and they're amazed with everything that's actually happening.
I've been through this several times. I always bring up a group of customers and they seem to enjoy it as well. They like that very well. They love the fact that, it's an American-made product. It's made right here in Indiana. We're an Indiana-based company, basically, and the customers are selling that product right here, and it really gives them a good feeling to know they're selling something that's made right here in Indiana.
There's always something to be learned. You pick something up. I've probably been on 20 tours at my time here, and I learned something, picked something up new or different every time I'm down there.
All of the workers that we have out here, the people we have building these pumps and motors, are willing and able to have a discussion with our tour attendees. It really makes it a good experience.
Obviously, they buy the parts. So for me, if I'm buying a product, I kind of want to know what's going on and like the steps it takes to complete it. They look satisfied to me.
Prior to the tour, they don't have a good visual of what it takes to build some of these pumps. The feedback that I hear is that they just don't quite understand when you tell them that we manufacture in the USA, all of the labor and all of the different steps that the manufacturing process includes, as well as the testing. Multiple areas that we test this product throughout the assembly process. The contractors and distributors that we bring through here are amazed at the in-depth quality control and the manufacturing process located right here in Kendallville.
All the testing that they do on the equipment, I like to see the guys where they, on the motors, where they do all the testing on the motors, and then on the final assembly on the submersible pumps where they test every pump that goes through there. I think that's a very important part that customers need to see.
So we have a multitude of areas within the factory where we're testing each different wet end as well as motor. And then once coupled together, testing them again. And we don't do batch testing here. We test every individual pump and motor.
Flint Walling is a very good product. I've sold Flint Walling for 39 years. I've never really had any problems out of it. It's a fine product. They represent it good. It has a very good warranty. There's a lot of good people here at the factory that I have known for a number of years that always take good care of me, and that's I look at that. They ship very well. They're reasonably priced. Good company to do business with.
It's well worth the time. Well worth it. Especially if you're an Indiana guy. If you have an Indiana license, you're going to get CEUs for your time here. But even the out-of-state people, I mean, literally every single person that's come on any of the 15-ish tours that my customers have been on alone, nobody regrets the decision. They all want to come back, and they all had an absolute blast.
They really need to come up here and see what's going on. They need to come and experience this and see how the pumps are actually made and put together. I think if they come up here and see this, they will realize that this is the pump they should be selling.
Love that video.
Yeah, me too. Hope you all enjoyed that as well. As we were discussing while the video was playing, you know, we mentioned these tours that typically run during the fall, winter months, but the last 2 years, these have become so popular. We're scheduling tours way out into, even into spring through April.
Oh yeah.
The last couple of years, so.
We can really do them anytime.
Anytime. And again, we can accommodate local one-day trips. We can accommodate those coming in that may have to spend a couple of nights. There's a lot of flexibility there. But you need to get with your sales representative and get these scheduled on the calendar here so that we can make sure that we get it all scheduled for this upcoming tour season. That said, what else can we add about the tours? Let's see. They're about 2 hours long, 2 hours and change, so it's not, you know, it's not anything short. We're on concrete for that whole time. We do ask that you do wear closed-toed shoes and heel. We don't want any exposed feet on the tour, but short of that, that's about the only requirement. The folks that are on that factory floor, they know when we have folks coming in, and they know that you are the typical people that buy the products they manufacture. And a lot of them would love nothing more than to tell you what it is they do every day. Should we talk about the...
Well, and if you're local to Indiana, and I don't know how many other state associations, but we count for continuing ed credits.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. So Indiana contractors, whether you're a driller or a pump installer, you come up and spend a day with us, you'll get your 6 hours of continuing ed credits for either or both licenses there. So, but yeah, this is a personal invitation. This is going to be a little short session as
Don't forget your code word.
Compared to what compared to what we've done in the past. But we really do want to encourage that you make this investment, make this trip. I promise you it'll be something that will pay dividends for a long, long time to come. Your code word for the day is tours. Tours, as in factory tours. And so jot that down somewhere. And then, like I said, you collect a couple more of those code words on other Sip and Ground Coffee sessions, email them in, and we'll get you some Flint and Walling swag coming your way. But I really look forward to to meeting you when you come up here. Look forward to giving you a great tour.
Those videos that you got.
So how we doing?
We got some video reels on here that you guys can kind of watch in the background and then maybe run us through what they'll see in the tour.
Cool.
If you think you could do that, yeah.
Well,
we got 2 videos from the old factory. It's not everything that they'll see, but it's some of what
so
they'll
you
see.
just want us to comment on it? It's going to be.
Yeah,
We're not
we'll
going
just play it up here behind you or up in a little screen.
Yeah, we're not going to compete against a voiceover on the.
No voiceover on this one. Yeah, this one is just a reel of kind of close-ups, different parts.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just tell us where we're at in the factory.
There we go. Well, a lot of times we start off in the machine shop. The machine shop's made up of quite a number of CNC machines, and what you'll see is these guys bringing in raw castings. And by the way, those castings are typically forged within 250 miles from Flint and Walling, so they're somewhat local. But you'll see the machining of these all these different types of pump castings. There's probably 60 or 70 of them that will run through that machine shop up there.
We got some additions for probably this year's tours for the machine shop.
Yes,
right?
yes, we do. Yes, we do. I mean, there's been so many changes back there on that factory floor that with new equipment coming in. I mean, it's been constant that I've had to check the parade route every once in a while to make sure that where we're going to be walking through the factory is still, open and free. So
Yeah, you're right. I was just talking to a guy the other day who was trying to piece together a group to come up, and he's like, well, some of the guys were up there 4 or 5 years ago. I said, well, there's been a ton of changes,
oh,
a lot of new equipment, new processes,
yeah.
new checks.
Just in the last 2 years, if it's been more than 2 years since you've been here, I assure you that you're going to see things you did not see before. What they're doing up here is we die cast our own rotors. That process is actually done today down at Zoller Motor Works, which is about 8 blocks west of us. They build 1 million motors a year down there. So all of our rotor die casting is done down there at ZMW. When we get them back here to F&W, we'll go ahead and what you'll see how we insert the shafts and the different processes that involves to assure that everything's being done correctly. Shaft height and everything else goes into that, but you'll see these rotors manufactured from scratch. And then I don't know how long this one's going to last, but we got one more. All right. This is a great one.
See lots of copper.
You see a lot of copper. That copper that we use to manufacture our motors, it's special. It's got a thin coating of insulation on it, so we have to handle that with kid gloves. But what you'll see here is how we actually are able to bring those copper windings into what we're manufacturing here is the stator. The stator will be the stationary portion of the motor. The rotor obviously rotates. So what we're bringing in here is the exact amount of start and run windings. And when you're here, I'll show you the difference between those start and run windings. But this is the process that's being used to bring those windings into the stator itself. Very interesting. We've got one of these that runs for the 4-inch submersible motors. And we've got others that run for the jet and centrifugal motors. So there's a couple of these. We'll see one of them running at least.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a newer piece of equipment there even.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
that's all I got for you guys.
All right, that's the end of the reels, I guess, for now. But yes, we do want to encourage you and invite you. Please come up. Please see us. It'll be a memory you'll have for a lifetime. So until then, be safe, take care, and look forward to seeing you on the next Sipping Ground Coffee broadcast. Thank you very much.